Please clap your hands for our dear guest, Myler Zhong from HIKVISION. Hello, Myler. Welcome. Nice to see you. Sit down for a sec, because you're going to do the one frightened thing in security. That is artificial intelligence. Is it right? Okay, so I have just one question. I built a new house. I put everything you say that I should have inside, including artificial intelligence. And then one day, my artificial intelligence says, I will lock you down in the house. Is it possible or not?
That depends on how this, our partners, what they keep doing. We're just producing the devices.
So you're producing the devices. Hopefully, it will work perfectly. So you'll be giving us a one big step towards something new. Yeah. For the last question is, when you're from China, when you live in Amsterdam, and you work for the Adriatic region, when do you sleep?
Sorry?
When do you sleep?
It depends on which time zone you're talking about.
Okay, so your favorite time zone is?
+2.
+2?
Yeah.
So I think you'll be using Ljubljana time zone. It's your time now. Enjoy.
Okay. Thank you. So morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Myler. Right now, in charge of the Adriatic and Balkan team for HIKVISION in Europe. So, since I'm the only speaker from the Far East, I hope I can introduce from my side to bring you something new, fresh. So today the topic we're talking about is artificial intelligence in security, a big step towards future. So firstly, let's take a background of the video surveillance. We actually have this bad news from all the time. Like in London, in Paris, there terrorist attack happened. So especially in Europe, the increasing needs for human identification, which is getting more and more. So by the demand, that's also increasing increasing demand of the cameras. So if we look at how we did before, mostly the cameras, the storage, we have higher resolutions, more cameras installed in the city, in everywhere. But everything that we're doing actually is some human behind this to process the data, to filter the things that are useful for our work. So with artificial intelligence, it's kind of remove this kind of complicated job that you need to done by human minds into our products, into the hardware. So take a very example for the traditional algorithm, what we are using in the products. There are some features, mostly the features are manually recognized by human, but there are still some abstract features. For example, if I would like to describe person's face, I could tell you this is blue eyes, this is this and that. But there are something like cheeks, like foreheads. This kind of features cannot be specified so clearly by human. So this is coming to this algorithm I'm talking about. It looks complicated in the picture, but actually imagine when you were born as a baby, what you see from the world is only fragmented information. You don't really know how to process this information and to make a conclusion what it is. So this algorithm, this artificial deep learning algorithm we are introducing in our products is kind of like learn by himself, just as a human. When you were a kid, you try to learn more and more things, so you can distinguish what is this, what is that. And the purpose of the deep learning, like I said, is to improve the efficiency, to liberate human from the tons of work every day. So the efficiency is the key. With the deep learning technology, to make this labor, this hard work done by human, we're trying to move this link of work into the products, into the hardware part. And as largest manufacturer in the world, HIKVISION have this kind of advantages in the artificial intelligence of security. The three key things for AI, actually, firstly, you need to have a very nice, very professional algorithm. Secondly, you need to have a database that is big enough. Thirdly, you need to have a very powerful hardware like GPU to process the data. And as respects to that, you can also see these results we achieved by very specific items of the algorithms, which we have made some progress and get very good results. So that's our advantage of using this AI. So let's take more specific on the product part, like cameras and NVRs. For deep in view cameras, you see from the name, deep in view, it's actually one name we made from the deep learning algorithm. So the cameras, you can see what can be done or improved compared to the traditional cameras. We have different phases, like face recognition, face capture, people counting, and flow analysis, behavior as a second phase, and in the future, human characteristics, crowd density, same as vehicles and events. Because normally in the video content, the most important, the point of interest, mostly are human, vehicles, or some events. So these are three targets that we wanted to focus on in our technologies to push the AI technology. As you see, facial recognition and facial capture and behavior analysis. So here we just show you some very simple examples or videos, demos. You can see from the camera on board itself, it does the comparison with the facial information. And this is done in the camera itself. So from the beginning, the users, he can upload the data of the users inside, and then to make a comparison to see, okay, if the person is matched or not, with also a comparison rate to detect. So mostly, from our experience, mostly the verticals can be most useful for the verticals are like retail and police enforcement. Like for retail, like the marketing manager, he can use this to anti-theft. In police enforcement, especially for the security, you can use this technology to filter the suspects. People counting and flow analysis. This is also in this deep learning, deep in view cameras, which you can see that we have these people counting cameras for markets or even for the mobile transportation for the buses. So with these cameras, you could get this reports or the people flow, people counting results from this. And also flow analysis. This is kind of like a quick detection. So take this thing, for example, in hospital or in some services constitutions, you could use this camera to detect and to know how your customer, how the flow of your customer is. So actually, the application scenarios, that's quite a lot, with different, like public transportation, commercial, and museum, hospitals, business complex. The other thing is also, like I mentioned, about the vehicles. In our camera with the AMPR algorithm and also traffic event detection, this makes the job much easier for these security guys, for the police. So with deep learning algorithm and also the GPU inside of the hardware, with also the license plate recognition algorithm, we can use this camera to to detect the license plate and to use this algorithm and camera into the real life for police enforcement and etc. And also traffic violation detection, for example, illegal parking. So just like this demo video, so this license plate could be captured from the camera and processed through the AMPR algorithm, and then to transfer to the metadata, which is the license plate. This is the most useful information for the users behind the cameras. So parameters. For parameters usage, mostly the most required functions are like region entrance, region exiting, intrusion, line crossing. So what is the difference with, from the deep view cameras for this kind of parameter applications? Because the camera can distinguish human, vehicle, and the other objects that might affect the detection, because human and the vehicles are mostly, in most of the time, are more focused. Okay, when we look at NVR side, keep in mind NVR. This is also our HIKVISION series NVR with AI technology adapted. And there are also very two important technologies we use in this NVR. Firstly is also the facial recognition, and secondly the human detection. In current circumstances, the conventional guiding system, they only detects the moving targets without further analysis. So what are the pain points from the users? Normally you get a lot false alarms. You have very low environment adaptability and also low alarm accuracy. So frequent false alarms is always annoying. This is what we get from current traditional products. So with facial recognition, we can do identification for the humans from the device. We can do fast search by the human face as well from the VR to locate your point of interest. High accuracy alarm. The features like intrusion detection, line crossing detection, okay, the identified human presence in the image, so improving the alarm accuracy, so user can search the target more quickly. So this can help to reduce a lot of the false alarms and also save the storage to reduce the cost. And simply, like I said, this is onboard algorithm. So this algorithm is already integrated in the hardware in NVR already. So here you can take a demo video also to see, okay, how you can do with this NVR to distinguish this the stranger or this alarm or suspect. So you will have this result of the accuracy, the similarity of the person compared to the database. For the parameter, just as I mentioned, the technology itself has this deep learning algorithm, so it can make distinguish to reduce the false alarm. So we can see from this demo video as well, if this is a human crossing into the parameter, then you will get this alarm from the system. However, if you use the other objects, because of the deep learning already done in NVR, okay, this is considered as not a true alarm. Okay, now this part, I'm just a little bit more introduction on the AI cloud. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard the concept of the cloud, AI cloud, media, news every day. So here I'm just sharing, okay, what is my understanding about the AI cloud and what should we do as a manufacturer and also together with the partners. If we look at the map of a cloud, we call it, we separate it to 3 levels: edge node, edge domain, and also cloud center. So you can see the cameras, they are kind of like in the edge nodes. They are edge domain in transmission, processing data, and in the cloud, you store the data or you make a processing of the data and react to the user demand. So what is very important for the edge node, which is real-time response, why we integrated this deep learning AI technology on board in cameras, in DVR and VRs, is just because this is faster and it can give you a real-time response. Edge domain, this is timely response. It's not so important to user in this link that you have to respond to him immediately. Cloud center, it's response on demand. For example, from the camera side, from the user side, if you want to analyze something, that you request some data or some results from the cloud will send you the data based on your requests. So in general, the cloud, for security especially, the most important thing is that data on demand to reduce the waste, time, resources, human work. The core idea of the AI cloud, firstly, edge perception. You can consider as our cameras, which can capture a lot of the world, the images, and then converge on demand. Multi-layered cognition and the multi-layer application. And this part, we think that system integrators, installers, software developers, you are the most important part to help this together. So the core idea, firstly, the AI cloud is aiming to open and build up an ecosystem. Secondly, intelligent application boost in vertical with partners. Because to be honest, as a manufacturer, we could do a lot of things. We could produce a lot hardwares, but we also realize, we are humbled to realize that we are not the only one in the industry, and everybody, we also rely on the system integrators, software developers to build up an ecosystem for everybody to work together to deliver the best solutions to the users to satisfy their demands. So this AI cloud, we can see that the most useful scenarios, first is safety, second is ITS in traffic. I take the ITS for example. We can see how this AI cloud can be used in the traffic solutions. From the edge nodes, the cameras, they will collect the traffic information like traffic flow, speed, vehicle features. In the cloud center or edge domain layer, it will analyze the big data and present it onto the applications. Traffic information can release. A release system will display the data accordingly to improve the traffic efficiency. So this is normally in a city, in a traffic solution, how it works. So this is a very typical concept of the AI cloud. Software, hardware integration, and also distributing the information to make it really useful for the people, not only a concept. So here I'm also going to show you a video example which we have already done in China, a case study that we've done with some integrator, software developers. So you can see how this cloud can affect our future in terms of management of the city. So you can see these cameras, they are installed in anywhere of the city roads. It could be intersections, it could be monitoring the bridge, it could be on the buildings, for example. And then in this software, you could see that there are some pop-up windows because there may be some events or some notification coming from the edge node from the front. And like parking places, like the different buildings, and also if there's someone make an illegal parking, you can also get a notification for the police department. If someone is speeding, you will also get a pop-up to see, okay, this guy is over speeding as illegal, like this. So to pop up the images. And here is the statics of the analysis during for a period. For example, this month, how many traffic, what is car vehicle type, what is everything. So you can get the analysis from this report based on, this is called the application from the application results from the application. So. Scene change, okay. Okay, so lastly, as I just introduced, we deeply understand that we are in a very important link of this industry as a manufacturer, but at the same time, we're also open. We want to encourage and also empower more our partners, integrators, to build up these systems with us together. So you could see that actually already hundreds of third-party partners integrated with HIKVISION. You can find all this information also in our official website. We are basically, the principle is open to all for integrators. We have different technical methods like ISAPI, SDK, HEOP, OnViv. These kind of different integration methods can be used in different scenarios. Like I said, for the edge, for the device, for the hardware, you can have this integration method. You can also have our gateway integration. You can also make integration with ISAPI integration. This is very important for the software developers. You could use this to develop your software much easier. And also, we have this HIK Central Open program because we also have our own management software. If you wanted to use that SDK to develop based on that, you can also use this kind of method to integrate. Because as I said, the logo companies, you are more familiar about how users want, what is their demand. So this is why we have put this a lot methods to be open and easier to get open for you to develop. So there are also something which already done, integrations. For example, this is from Milestone. And this is for the shelf management with software integration. So this is basically to show you how to make the shelf management to know the stock of each label, if each product item. And this is also the Ajax training, Amsterdam Ajax Football Club. They have also done integration with our camera to make this app for their football players training. So you can see the demo video here. You can see how the players, how they perform, and make analysis on which aspect they should improve in next training, in future, everything. Okay, thank you. I hope my last, what I want to say is that together, embraced AI era, and HIKVISION is open and also wants to go further together with you, with all of our partners. Thank you very much.